Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Warriors Walk-Off here on HBC TV 25. I'm Justin Barrientos. Thank you for joining us today. And again, we'll start off with Warriors softball. Head coach Greg Jones joins us. And you know, last week, Coach Jones, we congratulated you on a regular season championship in the NSIC. This week, we get to congratulate you on a tournament championship, and it's just the second time in school history that you've won both in the same year.
Yeah, it's a rare double. Within the league itself, it's a rare double. The league is so good and so competitive, to be able to win both is it's a huge accomplishment by our team, and like I said, it hasn't been done in a long while.
Yeah, 2003, I think, was the last time that you guys did it at Winona State. And I think this is your 7th tournament title.
Yes.
So congratulations on that as well.
Thank you.
And then to you, congratulations, Coach of the Year in the NSIC, third time that you've been named Coach of the Year.
Yeah, it's like I said the other day, I sit on a bucket and yell at umpires, and this year they gave me a plaque for it, so that was pretty nice.
That's always nice as well. Let's talk about your players then, too. 5 players on the NSIC all-softball team. Jordan Clemens, Lainey Van Zyl, McKenna Larsen, Allison Nowak, and then Mariah Schultz, second team. You also had the Player of the Year and the Pitcher of the Year. So it's just been a banner year for Warriors softball.
It has been, and it's hard with individual awards in a team sport because you never know how it's going to shake out. And I've always been one where I don't like to nominate kids and pick out who we think is deserving. I want the other coaches to decide how they want to do it. And so we say, hey, here's our team. If you guys pick them, great. But you never know even what to say to the kids about it, because you don't want somebody to be disappointed that they didn't get an award, or somebody to feel bad that somebody did get an award or whatever. So we don't really talk about it a lot, and but you feel really good when your kids get it and they get honored, and they have some of those things to, because those are memory makers too.
Well, it's kind of hard to weed out what to talk about, but I do want to talk about one other player thing before we get into the games that you played in the tournament over the weekend. Obviously, McKenna is having a great season. Jordan Clemens is having a great season. But Lainey Van Zyl is on pace to set the school record for batting average in a single season. She's hitting close to 500 this year. That's incredible.
Yeah, knock on wood. I try not to talk about it because I never want it to go away. But there's only been a couple other times in our program's history that I remember somebody doing what she's doing, where you feel like every time she goes to the plate, she's going to get a hit. And if she doesn't, you know she will the next time, because that's what hitting 500 is. Right. And have as many multi-hit games as she has, how many clutch hits she's had. It's truly been a special year for her. But again, I don't think she does it without the depth of our order. And last year we weren't a great offensive team. This year we have been so much better offensively, and that production has come because we get production out of the top and the bottom, which forces them to pitch to Lainey and never be comfortable doing so because there are people on base. And last year there were times I thought they could pitch to us in a rocking chair because we just weren't putting any pressure on the pitching. And this year there's always pressure on the pitching, and that's helped her be able to see some more pitches, get some more opportunities. But a lot of what she's doing is just the hard work she's put in and the success she's having because of it.
All right, let's move on then to the games and talk about, we'll go back to front, I think, and try to talk a little bit about what happened in the championship game first, which is incredible. I wanted to walk it through from your perspective. You're down going into the 7th inning, and then McKenna Larsen hits a walk-off grand slam to win you the title.
The only thing, I just keep saying the same thing, it's unreal. Everybody I talk to, that's the only word I can come up with, and it isn't strong enough, but it's unreal. I don't think in my career we've ever won on a walk-off home run in any game, let alone in the championship game of the conference tournament, let alone a grand slam with a 3-2 count. Yeah. I mean, that's just what you do in the backyard. That doesn't really happen. Yeah. And to talk you through the inning, again, none of it happens without Sam leading off with a base hit. We're 9-1-2 coming up. Sam had a great tournament. She'd had a good day, and I really liked where we were in our order. And I felt really good going into that half inning that we had a shot. I didn't feel like, okay, this is over. I really felt like if Sam gets on, that sets up the inning. She gets on. Katie has a good at bat. It's a line drive out right at the center fielder in her tracks. And then the whole key to the inning was Mariah's at bat. She hits a tailor-made 4-6-3 double play ball right at the second baseman. And now the game's going to be over. Yeah. And I'm just praying she can beat out the double play ball. Shortstop just completely dropped the throw. sets up the entire inning. Now there's, now there's still only 1 out, 2 on, and now Laney comes to the plate. As soon as Sam got the hit, I felt like, okay, we're in good shape because Laney's going to get an at bat. And now Laney's up, and I kind of feel like they're probably not going to give her anything to drive, but they can't completely pitch around her because it moves everybody up. And so I didn't know how they were going to approach it. I just figured she wasn't going to see one down the middle of the plate at any point. And they didn't. They nibbled at the corners. They end up walking her. Now Al comes up, and I'm just thinking for Al, just get the ball in the air, get the ball in the air, get the ball in the air to avoid the double play ball and the easy force out at the plate. And she nubs one over the third baseman, has a really great at bat, goes the other way, gets the base hit. Now we're within 1. And now with Mariah on third, I'm thinking the same thing for Ken. Just get one up in the air, we'll at least tie it, and we've got a couple of shots here. And she got one up in the air, and it didn't come down. So it was, and then it was just a matter of celebrating.
All right, so now most of these games were, fairly one-sided with you, except for the other game that McKenna had the walk-off on. Yeah. So what was different about this game where you're trailing in this one? It's Augustana. They've been a good team all season long. What was different about this championship game?
It started rocky for us. Everything else, even though we trailed or had to chase a little bit at times, we never had to chase all the way through. We were behind by 1 against Southwest at one point and came right back and tied it up. We had to win the Northern game in our last at bat, but against Augie, we were chasing from the beginning. And we had done this to them in 2014. We'd come all the way back through the losers bracket, and suddenly that just started to feel like they had momentum. It was their field. Was this their day? They'd already won 2 games that day. And so we were trying to, I don't think our kids were trying to overcome that. I think I was. You're battling your own emotions at the same time. But what we did really well throughout that game was we never let them get away from us. They scored early. They got 2 runs in the first inning, but we came back and got 1. Then they got another one, but then we hit a 2-run homer and tied it. Then they got the other 2-run homer. So they kept getting out, but they couldn't get away from us. It was never like we had to catch them 5 back. We were always only 1 or 2 back. And on a day with the wind blowing out on that field, a bloop and a blast always kept you in it. So, but it was a challenging game. It was one of those that I was never comfortable coaching it. It just felt like we were grinding the whole time and kind of spinning our wheels. And we made the pitching change. I just felt we needed McKenna in that game on the mound, but I wasn't going to put her in unless we were winning. And because we still had another if game left, and I thought I've got to have her fresh for game 2. I'm only going to pitch her if we're winning. Well, we tied it, and I said that's good enough. And we're going with her. And then they came out and took the lead again right away. I was like, well, this isn't the way this was supposed to go. And but maybe it was. Maybe the script was already written, and we just had to do that to get to where we finished it.
All right, we have just about 20, 30 seconds here, but you find out on Monday that you're hosting the Central Region Tournament. You find out Emporia State is going to be your first opponent. How important is it that you guys get the first round of the playoffs here in Winona?
Well, I think it's huge because we've been on the road so often, and now to be able to finally stay at home and our kids can be in their own beds, and it's on our field where we're comfortable. And we played Emporia in a great game earlier this year, an 11-inning affair down at their place, so we know what to expect out of them. But you don't have to go all the way to Arkansas or somewhere to do that. You just get to play a home game at your field, which I think is a huge advantage.
All right, we need to take a break here on Warriors Walk Off. When we come back, McKenna Larsen will join us right after this.
Paying your HBC bill has never been so easy. HBC's new online bill and pay system, Smart Hub, allows you to receive electronic bills and make online check or credit card payments with ease. HBC Smart Hub can be accessed on the computer or through your mobile devices with the app. Manage your payments, communicate with HBC customer care, and receive messages about your account with a touch of a button. HBC Smart Hub. Start today at hbci.com/Smart Hub.
And welcome back to Warriors Walk Off here on HBC TV 25, now joined by McKenna Larsen. Thanks for joining us again this year. And we had to have you back on the show to talk about the excitement that you had this week. So kind of walk us through the at-bat. You come up to the plate. Obviously the game had almost been over, and now it's your turn with the bases loaded, 1 out. What are you thinking? Did you get the pitch that you thought you would get?
Well, I saw, like Coach was talking about, I saw Mariah on third, and I was just thinking, get the ball into the outfield somehow. She's fast enough, she'll score. they like jammed me twice inside every time I was up. So I was thinking, okay, well, it's probably going to happen again. And they pitched away and then inside, and I kind of hesitated on the inside, and I looked down. I was like, gosh darn it, that was it right there. But then 3-2, I had the feeling I was like, they're going to come back inside, and they sure did.
So is this the most exciting moment of your softball career? I imagine it's got to be up there at least.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
What was your reaction? What did you think when the ball's off the bat and you kind of see it heading toward the outfield?
I was like, please stay fair. Please stay fair. And then I just was like, I can't believe that just happened. Like, it was an awesome feeling, and even better feeling to see the reaction of everybody, and it was an awesome experience to be a part of.
Now, as we alluded to, that wasn't the only excitement that you had during the tournament. You also walked off the second game, a walk-off single. Maybe not as exciting. Maybe it was. I don't know. Kind of walk us through that at bat.
I can't really remember that one, but I knew that, she was pitching me away all game, and I didn't really have the greatest at-bats, and she finally left one up there a little bit, and her center fielder's really good. She's probably like 7 foot. Okay, not 7 foot, but yeah, I was just hoping that, I could get the gap somewhere, and thankfully it just went over her head.
All right. Now, from an outsider perspective, this season seems a little bit different. Obviously, we've talked about the weather and that kind of adversity that you've had to go over, but another 40-win season, things that just seem to fall into place to get you to where you are right now. Do you kind of feel that this season is different than the others that you've had?
Yeah, I think so. This year, like Coach said, our offense is so much stronger, and last year we got a lot of breaks, I feel like, to keep the innings going, but this year we're just so much more experienced and, been in that situation, and we drive so many runs in, and, we don't have to be perfect in other spots when you have an offense that can put runs on the board. So I think that's what the main thing is just offense has taken over a lot, which is awesome.
All right. Coach, from your thought, obviously the career that you've had, you've seen almost everything until the walk-off grand slam. Yeah. But does this season feel different to you?
Yes and no. But where it's felt different are just those, every year has a different, piece to it. And last year, we won 52 games and, made a huge run and had a lot of success. And we did it all with pitching and defense. And this year we just feel so much more balanced. But the difference to me about what makes this year feel different is the chemistry somehow even got stronger than from last year. And I didn't think that was possible. And I just think that the intangible pieces this year have really aligned themselves and fallen into place, where the kids believe so much in how resilient they are, and that nothing shakes them. And that's a great feeling to have as a coach.
All right, I want to ask you about one more moment from this season, and that was Jordan Clemens' perfect game. Mm-hmm. You had a catch in the outfield that kind of saved it. I know it was early on, so no one really knew that it was a perfect game, but you had to race for a ball in the outfield, make the catch. That ends up basically preserving what would turn out to be a perfect game. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about your thoughts about going through a perfect game that you're not in the circle for?
I think that we probably pay attention to it more than the pitcher does, but any ball that's out there, you want to get. I know someone else came out to, I don't know if it was that game, but I was like, nothing hits. Like, nothing is hitting the ground, and I think that's just what the mentality should be always, but it's even more that mentality when that's perfect games on the line. All
right, now talking you personally, what's in your future after the season is done? Does volleyball or softball play any part in your future?
Maybe. We'll see. Not sure yet.
Okay, but maybe in some capacity. Yeah. We'll see you down the line. All right, sounds good. Well, thank you for joining us again this season, and congratulations on your success and good luck in the tournament.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and we're going to take a break here on Warriors Walk-Off. When we come back, we'll talk Warrior Baseball. That's right after this.
With our partnership with HBC, we were able to now be a smart gigabit community with US Ignite and the National Science Foundation. All their other partners are large metropolitan urban areas, Austin, Texas, San Francisco, Washington, D.C. And because of the broadband connectivity provided by HBC, we are a community lead for this initiative where we're going to be able to bring next-gen technology and stay competitive in the 21st century economy.
Providing opportunities for residential and business customers, HBC is leadership in your community.
And welcome back to Warriors Walk-Off here on HBC TV 25. Time now to switch to baseball, and head coach Kyle Poock joins us. And first of all, congratulations to you and your team. As we kind of alluded to last week, you did make the NSIC playoffs, so congratulations to returning to that for the first time in a couple of years.
Yep, and that was one of our main goals at the beginning of the year. We talked about what we want to try to accomplish during the season. One was getting back to the conference tourney.
Did you guys celebrate a little bit making it back?
They maybe did. I had to leave right away Saturday. My goddaughter got confirmed on Sunday, so I had to leave right away. So I told the guys to have a good time, but make good decisions as always. So, and hopefully I haven't heard anything bad, so I think they must have did a good job.
All right, very good. Before we get into the games that you played this weekend, and you were able to get 4 games in against Northern State, I want to talk about seniors because it was senior day on Saturday at the end. Tell me a little bit about the 4 players that are your seniors, and you know, what legacy do they leave to the WSU baseball program?
Well, they're a great bunch of guys. They're 4 guys. It's one of our smaller classes, but I think next year's will be smaller. but it's they're guys that came in, and we'd have one more if Mitch Stallsberg went to sign with the Tigers. He would have been in that group too. But Kip and Taylor have been basically 4-year starters for us from the get-go. Kip at shortstop for 2 years and now third base the last 2 years, and has done a great job over there for us and making a transition to third base when we brought Derek Martin in last year. Taylor's been, played outfield, played right field, left field, caught. His main position's catching, but he's a guy whose bat we got to keep in the lineup. And so we're always trying to do that. He was with Nate Krause. With those pair, we had a pretty good catching duo last year, the last couple of years, and now this year, Nick Nalawanski's jumping in with that thing too, but Taylor's our #1 guy, front runner. Great guy to have around. We joke all the time because I pick on him quite a bit or get on him quite a bit, but I tell him it's because I expect more out of him, and he gets it too. So those 2 will be missed. Mitchell Hyde has been he's been a great guy to have around too. He never complained once. He's played quite a bit the last 2 years, and then this year got off to a slow start. We had some young guys step up and take jobs, so he's been more of a role player. But never said boo, has done whatever we've asked, was always ready when we need him. Up at Concordia St. Paul, he had a couple good games, stepping in for Chad Herbst, who got hurt in the Duluth games. And then this weekend he was back into the role spot, and did a good job at that time. Derek Mossberg was a guy that he played at Bemidji for 2 years and has had to sit all year. Pitched some last year, and this year, unfortunately, just never got to a situation where we got to use him. But again, as a coach, you can't ask for better guys on a team. Team players, always doing what's needed, always ready if we need them. So I can't, there are no complaints there. Great guy to have on the team, great teammate, and always fun to be around.
What does Senior Day mean to you? Because I know that you have a long history with Winona State, with basketball and baseball. And then, with these players, you recruit them, you have them here, if they redshirt for 5 years, maybe 4 years. So you kind of develop a little relationship with them, and then all of a sudden it's all over, and you kind of have to say goodbye. So what does it mean to you to celebrate Senior Day? Yeah,
it's like then they take off on me or whatever after being with them for 4 or 5 years. It's always an emotional one. I try not to, but you can see sometimes I'll get a little emotional on the things and that type of thing. But it's hopefully we've done. We recruit them not just for baseball. We recruit them because we want to have them get the education. We want to have them a great experience. And with that great experience playing the game that they've loved, since they were a kid playing it. So, and hopefully when they get done here and they leave, they'll think, yeah, it was everything they wanted, everything they achieved, everything they potentially want to achieve, and had a great experience. And so that's, but it's always tough seeing them go when they leave. But so many of them come back, and I see them the next year, the year after, so which is always good.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the games then this past weekend. Didn't quite go the way that you wanted to, I would imagine. Friday, Northern got both of the games. Talk about Friday and kind of what happened in those games.
Well, our starting pitching did the job. When we pulled them in both games, I think we had the leads or whatever, but then our bullpen, and again, that's the thing that some days our bullpen's been really good and been able, and some days not. The biggest thing we talked about, the difference between some of the other, like 2 weeks ago we played 4 games and we walked 3 guys. Friday I think we walked 6 or 7 in 2 games, and it just put us in situations where it made it tough. We're giving up free bases, so that's some things we talk about. We're trying to clean up again here. Again, it's not the guys doing it on purpose, but you just got to get better. In those tight game situations, you got to just be better in those situations. We also left, I think the one game we left 11 guys on base, so again we just not getting the key hit when we needed it.
All right, and then Saturday you're able to take one of two against Northern. For Saturday, did you see any bounce back from the team from the previous Friday?
Yeah, and that's one thing we've been all year long. They've been able to bounce back and realizing one of the things we preach is you're only as good as your next at-bat, you're only as good as your next mound appearance, you're only as good as the next ball that's hit to you. Forget what happened before. You're here for a reason. You are a college baseball player. Make sure you're ready to make the next play. And they did it. The first game, we won 3-2 in the bottom of the 7th, but we battled and battled. We had chances. And Northern State did a great job. They got a good team, and they did a great job keeping themselves in the game too. And then we snuck one from them by getting the winning run on a hit by pitch.
Right.
And then they got the second game from us on scoring a run without hitting the ball out of the infield. And that's the way it works sometimes.
It's baseball.
Yep,
You bet.
exactly.
Yeah, you talked about that, but the 3-2 win, yeah, the bases loaded and hit by pitch scores the winning run. I guess what's going through your mind in that type of situation? Do you pull the batter by you and say, hey, this pitcher might be a little wild, he's pitching inside. If it's coming close, go ahead and take it?
No.
Or does it just happen?
No, it just happens because actually that pit guy they brought in was their best arm, and he didn't start, and I couldn't figure it out, but they used him they didn't use him the 4th game because it didn't matter to them, but they used him all 3 games to close. And he's been a pretty good guy, and he throws a lot of strikes, and he's always on the strike zone. So I thought was, when I talked to Chad, was make sure you get your pitch, don't be anxious, be patient, get your pitch, because in this situation, all you need to do is hit the ball hard somewhere, because I think their infield was in, because I think there was only 1 out.
Okay.
And so the infield was in to cut it out, so all you had to do is hit it hard somewhere. And the guy's always on the plate, and so how he hit him, he must have just lost it, because he usually doesn't do that.
All right, so as we said, NSIC playoffs coming up. I believe you're the 6th seed in the tournament coming up, so what do you have to do to make some noise in the tournament and be successful?
Well, if we play good baseball, we'll be okay. We'll get good pitching from our starters. Aaron Mutter's going to go game 1. He's been our #1 guy all year. And so the biggest thing is making sure that we're making, and we've talked to the players about this, make all the routine plays. We don't have to make the Sports Center highlight ones, but make sure to make the routine plays. Don't give up free bases. And when you get a chance with a guy in scoring position, you just got to get the bat on the ball and hit it hard somewhere.
All right, sounds good. Well, good luck coming up in the tournament.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll take a break here on Warriors Walk Off. Andrew Pleiner will join us right after this.
Elevate your HBC TV experience with the latest technology to hit your whole home entertainment system. Record up to 6 programs simultaneously and save up to 350 hours of your favorite shows. Pause a program you're watching in one room and pick right up where you left off in another. Video on demand, wireless set-top boxes and mobile device streaming, apps including Alexa, Netflix, YouTube, and more. Call 888-474-9995 to learn more or visit hbci.com/elevate today.
And welcome back to Warriors Walk Off. Andrew Pleiner now joins us, redshirt sophomore from Oregon, Wisconsin. And as you heard, we were talking in the first segment about the seniors. You're a redshirt sophomore, so what are some of the things that maybe you learned from this group of seniors that'll be leaving this year?
I guess first of all, they've always been great leaders. My 3 years here, they've always been guys that I could look up to, and they're always doing the right thing, work hard, and that kind of starts practice, weight room, and they really. I think we're a young team at this point, and I think they really, kind of set the bar for a lot of the younger guys to really work hard and kind of get us through the situation where we find ourselves in, which making the conference tournament for the first time in a few years here. So that's definitely pretty fun.
All right. One of the things that we've been talking to Coach Poock about really all the time that we've been doing the show is if you have to redshirt your freshman year, you kind of get that introduction to college baseball. So for your redshirt year, what were some of the things that you were able to do and you were able to learn that's kind of helped you along the way?
I guess just seeing how the game is played. I mean, obviously it changes a lot, the transition from high school to college. And I guess the biggest thing for me was, I knew that, I hoped I was going to be able to compete at this level, but, there's always a little bit, a little bit of doubt, a little bit of, if you're going to be able to do it or not. But really, I feel like that redshirt year helped me, get stronger in the weight room, really see how things work in college baseball, and just kind of improve all around and see, how guys who are successful, how they're doing it. And I'm really glad I did it because it definitely gave me a lot of confidence to be able to, come back my redshirt freshman year and this year and really hopefully try to, you know, be productive for our team.
All right, let's back up a little bit to your high school days. Your dad was the principal of your high school, and he coached a little bit, but maybe not in your high school days. So you had him as a coach, correct?
Yeah, I had him like through youth league, but he also coached at a high school in Madison for close to 20 years. So
what was that like to kind of have your dad as the principal of the high school?
He actually he was my principal in middle school, but so he came a year after I graduated. So, but yeah, in middle school it's definitely kind of fun having him around. It was nice, you know, familiar face.
All right.
Can't get in trouble with your dad.
Yeah,
definitely.
One of the comments that Coach Poock made when you were introduced at Winona State was the fact that your dad was a coach and kind of helped you along the way meant that you learned baseball the right way and that you play the game the right way. What does that mean to you, and how do you kind of think about that?
You know, I guess, you know, always carrying yourself the right way, you know, kind of playing with the unwritten rules, you know, just, you know, kind of like how Coach Poock said, you know, making the right plays, making the plays you need to, just, you know, being around a good mind of the game. It really just helps you kind of, you know, be in the right mindsets to, you know, be successful and just, you know, do well, I guess. So.
Right. What did you mean by that comment?
Well, those things, play the game the way it's supposed to be played. My biggest thing is always act like you expect to be there, act like you've done it before. But then playing hard, hustle on the field, hustle off the field, hit the ball, hustle out of the batter's box, and then just playing the game with respect for the game as well.
All right. Well, you had a lot of experience in baseball before high school and before college. You played some Legion ball, Madison Impact, I believe. Can you tell me about your time with Madison Impact?
You know, it was definitely a lot of fun. You know, we had a lot of success. We were kind of I guess, a non-traditional Legion team in the fact we drew from about 5 or 6 high schools. And we were definitely pretty competitive. We won a few state championships, which was really fun. I mean, you know, got to play a lot of good baseball and, you know, went into the regions. We were always hoping we were going to make it to the Legion World Series, but we just fell short of that a few of the years. But it was a great experience. I definitely am happy I went that route.
I understand one highlight you had was hitting 3 home runs in one game. What do you remember about that game? You know, I guess I was just seeing the ball well. The wind might have helped a little bit, but just squaring it up and, you know, it just worked out that way, I guess. So it was definitely one of my pretty fun highlight of my career so far. So.
When are you going to do that here?
We'll see. I have a few more years left. So hopefully that comes.
All right.
Good answer. Good answer. All right, last question. Playoffs coming up. What do you need to be successful, and what does the team need to do to make some noise in the tournament?
I guess, you know, what I'm thinking from my point of view is just doing whatever I can for the team to be productive. And kind of my role, what I like to take on is that I kind of see myself as a setup guy. You know, Zach Stang, our leadoff hitter, he's great hitter, gets on base a lot. And behind me in the 3 and 4 spot, Sam Conley and Taylor Field are swinging great bats this year. So kind of doing whatever I can to get Stang in scoring position and have them score them, or, you know, however that works out. But whether that's with a bunt or just, you know, just doing whatever I can to be productive. And I think that our team, you know, we just kind of like Coach Poock alluded to, just, you know, really focus on making the plays we need to, pitching well, hitting well. And, you know, we're a young team, but I think we're, you know, pretty talented. And so I think that we can definitely do some damage. I know, like, on my first practice here, they were saying, you know, conference tournament, that's the goal, and we've got here. It's kind of what we've been working towards. So I think we're really excited, and hopefully we can play well and do some damage.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming in, and good luck in the tournament.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us here in Warriors Walk Off. We'll see you next time here on TV 25.